And this is me, hatless. Keith Hayes, Muriel Television, hatless. Oh, no see the day. But we just thought that extra camera was tugging at us. And so showing my hat, and me bottle of beer seemed to be the right thing to do. Anyway, welcome to Thursday, the 2nd of May, is it? Yes, Thursday, the 2nd of May. You're very welcome. And there's Ada in the background, part of our staff, our catering manager. She's a wonderful lady, and she just performed her first duty of the day, which is always very encouraging. She phones her grandson and gets him up. Cody, I think his name is.
That's right.
Yes, she gets him up, and then she makes me coffee, and then she buggers off. But you know, the thing about Ada is she always ends her conversations with her grandsons, with any of her family, that is, I love you. Now, if more parents, grandparents, relatives, strangers said, I love you, what a better world it would be. And there is a leader for telling family each morning. I sit here and I hear her. I thought she was saying I love you to you one day, but I should be so lucky. But it's a wonderful thing to be able to be nice and kind, even to strangers.
Doesn't cost anything, does it?
It doesn't. That hat gives me more pleasure. I wasn't sure whether I would be daring enough to wear it, but it gives me more pleasure because I wear it almost constantly. When I go around in the Red Devil, the scooter, and I come across people on the pavement, and I always say good morning, and 90% of the time they say good morning back. It's very rare that you get anybody who's churlish enough to... And they nearly always comment on my hat. What a lovely hat, they say. And it doesn't matter how old they are. Yesterday, I had to go to the doctor's surgery, so I had a little bit further to go than I normally do. And I had a young chap who couldn't have been any more than 7 or 8 say, oh, I love your hat. And it's a great way of breaking the ice. It's a great way of communicating. And if Miat is a way to bring, so be it. That is its role. Its role in life. Okay. Now, we had better get on with what we're supposed to be doing. Yes, there we are. We're actually going out live. I'm checking the monitor on. We use YouTube as the monitor. But it could be any one of the other social media that we go out on. And I've forgotten what I was saying now. Never mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because what we're going to do is to take a look at the news headlines. As of the front pages. So stand by. Stand by your man. Oh, dear, dear, dear. I bet that was a bit of an assault on me. On the Constitution first thing in the morning, wasn't it? Yes, right, okay. Now, let us go through the papers this morning. Now, the main headline is "Our hearts are broken." Now, I don't want to sound churlish. The tragedy of this young man, his life cut short by a rampaging samurai swordsman, is overwhelming. And I quite realize the outpouring of grief. But I do wish somebody would say he was a little bugger and he was always in trouble, but we loved him dearly. Even so, instead of this, he was a little treasure. He was a little treasure. Yeah. No sympathy at all. But reading between the lines, this youngster is just as mischievous as any other. And yes, your hearts are broken and can be broken. But I hope he isn't the little angel that everybody is painting him out to be. Because if he is, he must have been a very dull kid. Tributes to gentle Daniel, 14, pour in, as a man is charged with murder. Well, okay. The Mirror leads with tributes to 14-year-old schoolboy Daniel Angerin. Oh, super, thank you. Daniel Angerin, killed in a sword attack in northeast London, yes, on Tuesday. Below, a picture of floral tributes. The paper quotes a family friend fondly remembering the joyful boy who is described as a star pupil with a bright future. Yes, that's the bit that's cut short that we should really regret. Not he was a little angel. The Daily Express. Heartbroken. The family pay tribute to wonderful child. There, you see. Let's hope that impish grin, that's what we're going to miss. The impish grin, the cheeky attitude, the naughty boy. And you look as if you could be all of those and really, really very lovable. Let's not get carried away. The Express has tributes to the wonderful 14-year-old pictured the morning after Marcus Arduni Monzo, 36, was charged with Daniel's murder. The Metro. Double tragedy of, thank you, Ada. Double tragedy of samurai killing. Our fresh sorrow. School sadness over murdered Daniel, aged 14, after pupil Grace died in knife rampaging too, as well. All right, a nice looking young lady. She looks as if she could be a bit of a devil too, thank God. Whereas the Metro focuses on the news that Daniel Angerin attended the same school as Grace O'Malley Kumar, who was stabbed to death in Nottingham last year. It says the flag at Bancroft School in Woodford Green was flown at half-mast in tribute to Daniel, and that school and the school said it was scarcely believable it was facing a second tragedy. I agree. Yeah, they say lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. By golly, it has here. The Sun. Trent and Jude Law's girl. The Sun has photos of Liverpool star Trent Alexander-Arnold with model-ins Law, daughter of actor Jude Law. The tabloid quotes a source saying the pair are excited to see when things go. Daniel Andrian is also pictured in his school uniform. It says he was killed moments after the setting off for school. Star. We're going to need a bigger Lilo. The Star says there fears a great white shark could be prowling off the Sussex coast after a woman spotted what she thought was a fin. Or it could be a great prank. Oh, you cynical. That is the Star. The cynical Star. Now that's a setup for the books in itself. Right, the Star says there fears a great white shark could be prowling off the Sussex coast after a woman spotted what she thought was a fin. Or could it be a prank? Nah, I don't know. Jaws. Let's assume that it's Jaws. So be careful when you go into the water. You never know what's lurking there.
Anything for okay?
No, that's fine, Ada. Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Well, it doesn't give us all the papers this morning, only just some. Very, very short list. Are they late out today? Have they missed out some deliberately? Don't like what they say. It's that's a difficult one. Wowee. But if I'm allowed to make a comment, I'm going to make one anyway. I really think that the Liberals with a little L have really got as far as they should go. It is nice to think of being a civilized society. It's nice to think of people having a warm heart. It's nice to think of sympathy all the way around. But unfortunately, man isn't like that. Not in the least. Mankind isn't that civilized. And to pretend that we are is breaking all the rules of common sense. A whole section of our society now thinks it's perfectly okay. He's offended me. Let me bump him off. He hasn't offended me. Let me bump him off. Let me bump him off. Let me bump him off. It's gone too far. Too far. Is youngsters ask me, looking at my venerable age, is, were you beaten at school? And the answer is, yes, I was, judiciously. And I didn't come out a broken child as a result of it. I learned there are some things that I didn't do. Otherwise, I got the sting of a cane across my palms, or the smack of a stick against my bottom. And it didn't do me any harm, he said. You fool yourself. Keith didn't do you any harm. God's sake, it was paranoid. Yes, right. But civilization is on a thread, and I'm told people who travel much more than I do now. I'm an inveterate traveler. I've been to 60 countries and worked in 40 of them. But you know, we are not all nice people. And if you let loose one nasty person on the streets, you get what we're getting at the moment. Now, we can't stop all people on the streets being nasty, but we can make damn sure that we keep a modicum of discipline and common sense in our populations. Because if we don't, you can sling outrageous arrows all you want, and you can hit, score, hurt, and you won't get any thanks for it. And you could unleash onto the streets Okay, now let's take a look at the weather. Today, some rain, some cloud, a little cooler than yesterday, 15 degrees. But it's gone. There was a weather warning out for potential thunderstorms, but I don't see that that's there anymore. So we're out from under a weather warning. Light rain showers and a moderate breeze. Yeah, it's okay. It's not cold. That's the main thing. It's not cold, and it's quite pleasant. Now I have my Parkinson's clinic at 12 o'clock today. I think I've got my Parkinson's clinic at 12 today, because as usual, they managed to try and get me to confirm via the computer electronically. And as usual, it didn't bloody well work. It never does. And then it says, you can phone so-and-so and so-and-so. So I mean, you phone that number, it starts off for so-and-so, press 1. For press 2. Press 3, which means you're not going to talk to anybody, and there's going to be a queue. The reliance upon computers must end. It must end, and that's something that can start at the grassroots level. I'm not against computers. I keep on stressing that. What I am against is over-reliance on them. Happy Valley is a combination of eyeballing and electronic communication, not entirely electronic communication. And that's what has happened. That's what it's turned into. I actually had to go into my surgery yesterday that I haven't seen for some months, having futilely tried to get an appointment. And I had to say, look, I'm here about 4 things. And at long last, I actually got somebody to listen to me. And she was quite helpful. But she even so said, and I'll send you an electronic reminder. And all you've got to do is to reply to it. And I said, I've been trying to bloody well reply. We've got a new system, she says. A new system. What you do is you go into da. Give me strength. Give me strength. My main approach to the doctor's surgery is to go in on some pretext, clutch my test, slump to the floor, and I get an appointment. If I don't do that, I don't get any attention. Not at all. Can you just see me? I do a marvelous swoon. And if I've got a glass of beer in my hand, I'm perfectly capable of swooning and not spilling a drop of the beer. I got swooned down to a fine art, believe me. Having said that, joking aside, when you feel yourself falling and there's not much you can do about it, there's nothing to grab onto, it is the worst feeling in the world. And that is what happens to me on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Well, now, let's just, in about 15 minutes, I will welcome back Philip Meredith, who is taking his wife to work. There you are, you see. And he's a gentleman too. And he will be arriving in the studio after he's got back from the school where she works. And later on in the morning, at 10 o'clock, no, first of all, Philip has got a mystery guest. We don't know any more about him than you do. It's Philip's mystery guest. So I'm as agog as you as to what we're going to do this morning. However, what I do know is that we have got the irrepressible John Henty at 10 o'clock. John is absolutely hilarious and he's the breath of fresh air while mixing just perhaps a little realism in with it. But nonetheless, Max Miller lives through John Henty. And as a matter of fact, John has been very good at promoting past people. Maybe Lucy Atwell, who was a cartoonist is the wrong word, a sketchist, a sketch artist, and who you will recognize as because she draws lovely little ruddy cheeked girls and doing all sorts of interesting things. She became quite famous and is now a collectible. But John Henty promotes her, and Max Miller, who was, as he describes him, a rude comedian, but not an obscene one. He's that sort of backstreet humor that everybody laughs at, but wouldn't pass on in polite company. Mm. And then I should tell you that we may have limited programs tomorrow, but generally speaking, I've given everybody the long weekend off. And at first, it was my belief that Friday tomorrow was a statutory holiday, but it's not. It's a discretionary holiday. Is apparently it is listed in law, but not necessarily. Employers are not duty bound to give the day off and pay for it. So tomorrow is a bit uncertain. Like the rest of you, on Monday we have totally got the day off. Whoopee! Whoopee! And I'm sure that we'll find something half decent to do on this bank holiday. I would like to venture out, but I'm not so sure that it's a wise idea when my main means of transport is my mobility scooter. Incidentally, I shocked my colleagues by saying I'm going to purchase another half dozen mobility scooters because they are going to be our news cars, and they are the news cars of the future. Why? Because the situation with parking has got so stupid now that you can't get anywhere near a news story unless you park 17 blocks away. I can't walk 7 yards, let alone 17 blocks. So there's no way I can cover those stories. But with my motor scooter, I can. And I'm going to get at least 6 mobility scooters to act as news cars. You can see us tootling along. Whee! Not a bad way of doing things. Not a bad way of doing things at all. Who wants a car anyway? Who wants a car? I do, but not at the price that they're asking for a very modest vehicle. I've always had unusual cars, and if I can't have an unusual car, I don't want one. I'm going to rely upon my mobility scooter, both the reputation, as I've already said. Is that hat can be seen around Lewis many a time a day, because it's symbolic. Yes, it's symbolic. You can recognize that it's from Mirador television. So if there are 6 mobility scooters with 6 hats atop, 6 bottoms from Mirador fixed firmly to the driver's seat, then I figure that we are approaching something like 7th heaven. Something like 7th heaven. I don't know. Yes, I know. I wanted to make a comment because I read in the papers, in the headlines. No, not in the headlines, but civil servants are starting to block the Rwanda flights. Now, I don't care how you feel about the Rwanda flights, whether you're for them or whether you're against them, but there is a bigger principle that transcends that, and that is whether, in fact, you fall under the dictatorship of one or a few people. And these people are behaving like dictators. They are there, they're appointed to carry out the will of the people. The will of the people is expressed through Parliament. And if it's not, what we do is we get rid of them. But it is not, I repeat, not up to civil servants to tell us what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. That is absolute dynamite. It is dangerous to our freedom of speech, our freedom of expression, our freedom of movement even. And we must not give in to it. Those civil servants should be immediately sacked, if you can sack a civil servant. They should have big red blotches painted on their bottom or something of the sort. To identify them as somebody who should be doing the will of the people, not telling us what to do and threatening to disrupt our way of life if we won't follow what they believe to be right for us. It is absolute mayhem if we allow that sort of behavior to be successful. And Rishi Sunak, who's not impressed me as a man of great action, he's a good speaker, he's a good talker. He actually convinced me on his first budget. But we cannot allow Jobsworths to tell us what to do. I mean, we do. Don't misunderstand. We know that they have that sort of power, but when they're threatening to go to court over the Rwanda flights. Well, if they want to go to court, that's fine, but stand down from your job. You cannot challenge a decision of government and then expect to be in their pay, in their nice, cushy jobs. As a matter of principle, they should resign, but they won't. Oh dear, no. Principle with them only goes so far as their bank account. And that's outrageous. They offend me. And if you are a right mind, well, whatever you thought, or your thoughts on the flights to Rwanda, and frankly, I don't know. But I have some colleagues who went and spent almost a year on an overseas mission in Rwanda and came back reporting very favorably on it. Very nicely. And it's remarkable that they even get themselves into the mindset. No, it's not. Is there a law unto themselves anyway? And they're arrogant in the main with it. There are few professions in this life that I would prefer to say that I wasn't, and that is a civil servant. I've known some very nice civil servants. This is the old phrase, some of my best friends are civil servants. But to be able to think that they can dictate as a group to we, the people, is fallacious, arrogant, and stupid. It undermines their very existence. Well, we should be expecting Philip any minute. He should be back from his wife's, taking his wife to work. A dutiful husband. Very nice guy, Philip. He hasn't been with that long, but boy, has made an impact. And it is he and Harry Atherton on a Friday, normally on a Friday. As I say to them, and I'll say to you, it's very powerful television. It's well worthwhile you actually stepping back and watching for a little while. Because the two of them articulate points of view and make them not only interesting, but different. Now, let me just check our internet. Oh, no, it's okay. At least it says it's okay. Oh, dear. Right. That is my rant for the morning, and make no. Now we got a full morning after this, so I better do my pitch for Deck now. I think Deck said he was off on an electrician's day today. That he is doing some sort of installation for somebody. He is a fully qualified electrician, a man of many parts, I may say. Let's see. Well, he's not here yet, but I'm sure he will be. The way that well, let me go back to what I said at the top of the program, because freedoms are very, very important. And it is incumbent upon us to understand that some are voluntary and some are imposed by legislation. But I mentioned that we had a picture. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, boss. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm a bit perkier this morning, I'm happy to say.
Yeah, you do seem it. But where's the hat?
Aha! Now.
There it is. So you're using the second camera, as it were, not to film outdoors, but to film your hat.
Well,
with a bottle of lager on top.
That's right. If you have doubted at all that we are being watched, yesterday, within I don't know, 20 minutes of us opening up with that camera, we got a call from Ofcom.
Yeah, you told me.
Yes, and apparently somebody complained that the camera was pointing a bit towards their window, not that you could see in. But as I said this morning, we immediately removed it because we feel we're part of a small community here. We're part of the larger community, but because we're of a hybrid nature, Mirador is also part of the global community. And if we're going to be part of those communities, we have to play ball. And if we were upsetting somebody, we are only too happy to comply with taking it down.
I have wondered, actually, I must confess, and it's as if I'm saying this in hindsight, I'm not. I have wondered, I mean, it's an accurate camera. You can recognize people. I haven't recognized anybody because I'm not part of the Lewis community currently. But the accuracy, the quality of the images from that camera, even though it's through the pub window, are actually very good.
Yes, they're not bad, but I have to say that out of all the people that have gone by in the year that we've been here, almost a year anyway, it is I've recognized 3 people.
Well, that's more than me, Keith, because I've recognized nobody.
Right. But I do the law actually, as you will know, Philip, is very strange when it comes to photography. It is vastly misunderstood. But where really journalists have always, most of them anyway, apart from the paparazzi, where journalists have played ball with society is we don't deliberately try to identify anybody, we don't try to offend anybody and so on through the use of either video or photography. So we were more than happy to comply. But as you will appreciate now, having been in television for as long as you have, that when you've got an extra camera, you itch to use it.
Oh, goodness. Absolutely.
So there it is. My hat with a bottle of beer. And if anybody sort of gets onto their high horses, what's he doing showing drink at this hour of the morning? It's non-alcoholic.
Ah, well, there we are. Now, Keith, may I end this stream and start my own?
You may. I will say toodle pip to everybody, and away you can go.
Oh no, I very much want you to be involved in the guest. Thank you.
Well, I will stick around.